All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Roltgen with the Fresno Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Investors Group. Oh, thank you, Dina, for joining there. Yeah, the comment in the chat. I'll try to keep an eye on that. Some of you may know me as Larry Laguna from Telegram channel, Reddit, or other forums, that kind of thing. Welcome. We started this group, it'll be 4 years ago in January. When COVID, when we started, we were meeting here in Fresno, down at Bitwise downtown, and usually had, 4 to 10 people, joining us each time. Then when COVID hit, we went online with the Zoom, and I think it's really turned it into a, better group of folks meeting, checking in from all over the country, and even had a few out of the country. So we're going to keep doing that even with whenever COVID is over, if that is ever over. We will try to meet once in a while in person. We did that on Bitcoin Pizza Day back in May, and that was fun just to see some people, for the first time in a long time, live and in person. But we'll definitely keep these going, via Zoom, because I think it's lended to, better meetings and better information and a lot more input from other folks. So appreciate you joining us for that. If you haven't seen the Google Doc, I'm going to paste that into the chat again in case you missed it or it doesn't show up after you logged, or if you joined after I pasted that. Click on that. We're going to be adding some comments there and links and answers to the questions there throughout the meeting, and you're welcome to contribute there. Click the request edit access in the upper right corner, and I will try to keep up and okay you to do that. All right, so most importantly, this is not financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. Standard kind of disclaimer stuff. I am Bitcoin certified, which is probably more appropriate for our group, so that's good. I went through that certification back a few months ago and got that cool little piece of paper, so happy to share that with you digitally. All right, so today we're talking about the TruBadger ecosystem, and I wanted to share a little bit about why I'm interested in it, and then we'll kind of get into the questions and just kind of have at it. I had some previous experience with Kula Brands, not directly, but a friend of mine got involved with Kula Brands 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know if he's actually on. He sometimes attends our meeting. I don't see him. Jumping ahead. Sorry about that. Just trying to scroll another window. I don't see him on here, but if he joins us, we'll ask him some questions. Anyway, the people that are behind the TruBadger ecosystems were involved in this Kula Brands organization and still are. That was part of their Las Vegas event a few months ago. And so the big thing for me was that these guys and ladies had previous experience in business, doing business things with other business organizations and that kind of thing, as opposed to some of these crypto projects are just, hey, we got this idea, we did an ICO, we got a bunch of Ethereum, let's spend it and try to come up with some idea, that kind of thing. So the fact that these guys had actual business experience, were successful doing that, really attracted me to what they're doing now with the TruBadger project. Let me share this kind of I don't know if this is their mission statement from the Kula Brands. I say, we are a network of passionate people who provide a platform to kickstart careers. The concept is simple. Every drop creates a ripple. Thousands of drops can create a tidal wave. Through simple one-time actions, our community provides support and resources to growing businesses around the globe. So that seems to be very similar to kind of what they're doing with the TruBadger system or ecosystem. And so to me, it was like, hey, these guys did, it's like they built a house before, now they're building an apartment building. So I think because they built a house, they're probably going to be successful building an apartment building type of thing. That was my philosophy with that. Just to give you an idea of what the ecosystem is currently they referred to it as the TruBadger ecosystem, and there's these other projects within the system. And the first one there is CataBolt. That is a DeFi exchange. And currently they're using it, this would be similar to PancakeSwap, Uniswap, Coffee Exchange on the KuCoin network, that kind of thing. Currently they're using the exchange just for the pre-swaps to keep out the bots when they launch the new tokens. But the idea here is with these four spots, there is going to be a project and a coin or token for each of those. So currently the CataBolt Swap site is up and functional.
No, Raider.
And their token hasn't launched for that yet. The Safufied is a project to protect our funds, and it's think of it as a secure wallet or a safe. So even if you give up your 12-word seed phrase, the crooks or bad guys out there aren't going to get access to your funds. That service has been up for about 3 or 4 weeks, and they just launched their coin, the token for that one earlier this week. And so both of those are up and running. The Insights is a trading platform for DeFi tokens, and that's just about to launch here in a week or so. The token launched almost 2 months ago now. I guess it was the beginning of October. And so that's successfully launched. The last one here is their community NFT project. We haven't seen the project or the token for that one as of yet. So just to kind of give you an idea of what's currently up and running and what's coming from them. They refer to these four, as well as the TruBadger token, as their core tokens. So these are their projects that they're doing, within their organization.
I only get the so phase one, I don't get the IPO, I get the latter.
We'll get some mute there. So they refer to as their core projects, but part of their whole strategy and what they're doing is bringing in other crypto projects to use their platforms and their systems and their management experience to launch their projects. So just like their Kula brands, they didn't call it a business incubator, but that's kind of a term that a lot of people know, so I kind of use that term. But I look at this as being a crypto incubator for crypto projects, that kind of thing. That's what their big picture is. Let me bring in Aaron, has been a big follower of the whole ecosystem since it started, and now he's actually a volunteer Zoomer with them, so he actually knows a little more about some of the other things that are going on with. So Aaron, jump in and just kind of fill in any gaps that I missed or things that you want to add, just to kind of describe, what the TruBadger team is doing. And I'll also throw in that now they're kind of referring to themselves as the Nexus ecosystem, which includes TruBadger and all these other ones. So maybe jump in there, Aaron, and fill in more details.
Sure. We'll start with, you did a great job, by the way, but it started actually with Kula Brands. Peter Gantner is a entrepreneur who's he's created a lot of different toys and stuff for McDonald's and a lot of different things. And he's just got this great mind that wants to build wealth with people who can't financially do it themselves. And Kula Brands is actually was a group that got together of inventors, and he had got a lot of different inventors with their ideas and helped back them to launch their market their products and stuff. A lot of great successes there. I've heard some testimonies, especially in Vegas. There was a couple that just really opened my heart to what these people are doing. They're people of integrity. They're trying to change the space of crypto. A lot of scammers out there, a lot of bad people. I mean, it's been that way in credit cards and everything else. I mean, they just always been trying to scam us, but it's much easier now, and they can actually target people and their vulnerabilities. And so they have designed this Nexus ecosystem. And it starts out with the TruBadger token, which is, they're all independent, but yet they're all interlinked together. The TruBadger is kind of the mother token or the cornerstone. In order to be a part of the pre-launches, you'll have to hold a certain amount of these tokens for TruBadger in order to participate. And you could participate with $10, $100, or $10,000. They look at everyone as equal. And the launch of the new token that just went live last week, the Safified, was a tremendous launch. It is everyone came out getting the same amount of tokens within a certain range. It was phenomenal how it worked. The pre-swap 2 was not quite, I mean, it run out in 5 minutes. So I think they need to do a little work on that, but they are working very hard to keep everyone that is going to be a part of our community. They're going to try to build wealth for you guys and girls in the next few years. The insight, every token has a utility. As Brad said, the Insights is a trading platform, and when that launches here in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see that skyrocket, I believe, for all those people who want to trade. The trading platform is beyond anything on the market today. CataBolt Swap, which Larry explained, is just like a pancake swap, Uniswap, PooCoin, any of these swap sites. This is their own, but we are able to come in and pre-launch the token before it reaches these other markets, eliminating the bots to come in and drive the market up and then sell at the end of the day. So again, very excited about what this team is doing. They're a team of people with great minds, and they are looking out for the little guy as well as the big guy. You know, tremendous.
Yeah. Okay. And so I got, are you guys seeing this, the 3 tokens here on the screen? Okay. I was sharing back and forth. Can you see, get that? Okay. Do you see that, Aaron?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So just to kind of go over a couple things we might not have heard about before is the reflections that we are receiving on the TruBadger and the NSI tokens. So there's a 10% tax on each of those tokens. And that's on every transaction. So if I were to send, you know, when I buy 1,000 tokens, I only get 900 of them. If I send 1,000 tokens to Aaron, he only gets 900, and the other 10% goes into the tax that is distributed among a few different things. The main important one to us is the 4% of that 10% comes back to us token holders. And so we actually receive more tokens every day. And, you know, you can watch your balance in MetaMask or Trust Vault and watch that go up. I think on NSI, it's more like 3% is what we receive instead of 4%, but regardless, we're still getting more tokens every day. On the Safified, or the safest token, there's no reflections, but we have the option to stake those. And they're supposed to launch the staking part of that here in about 2 weeks. There's only a 9% tax on that one. But on all of these, we're in very early on these tokens. And so, you know, overall, my goal here today is to kind of help decide if this is, come on here, there we go, the best place to put $50 for the next 2 years. You know, a lot of times I talk to folks and they're like, oh, you know, I heard about Dogecoin or this, or I've only heard of Bitcoin. I don't know about any other ones. And I've never, you know, told people to, you know, invest. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, and, you know, I would never tell anybody to invest in Dogecoin, but obviously Bitcoin's probably safe, that kind of thing. But I feel that the TruBadger family is an area, because they have the reflections and everything that's going on, is you could literally put $50 into a wallet and not look at it for a year or two, and you'd probably be very happy, you know, after that year or two. So that's what I'm hoping to kind of help figure out, you know, throughout this meeting today, and you know, get your guys' input and that kind of thing. Let's see, let me just double check that I've gotten everybody access to the Google Doc Hey, welcome, Mark. I see you there. Different people are jumping up. As far as that goes in my list of attendees there. All right, so let's go ahead and start and get to the questions here. These are kind of the 5 questions that I posted that we want to try to answer. And does anybody want to jump in and give an answer? Let's start with the first one first. We'll just kind of jump in there. Gabe, I hear you. Do you want to jump in and share why you bought any of the TruBadger tokens?
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like you got a friend there with you. Oh, all right. Let's see. Dale and Melanie are unmuted. Did you guys want to share?
Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Sorry, I have been having trouble with my computer all morning. I apologize for being late to everybody. I've invested in all 3 of them. I'm very happy so far. I'm found that I'm a little obsessed with checking everything, but I'm in it for the long haul. And I'm sort of a newbie here, so I appreciate all the input and the advice and everything. Thank you.
Great. Can were these tokens your first foray into crypto, or have you had other?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I'm a PTR member, and I kind of have looked into it a little bit over the last couple of years, and it was so daunting that I just sort of gave up. And then, when Dan at PTR and Gary were talking about it, I thought, well, you know what? I'm not getting any younger. So I pretty much immersed myself in, I downloaded a 14-page glossary so that I would at least understand this whole new language. And like I said, it took about a week and immersed myself in it. And I'm still learning a lot, but at least I can have a semi-intelligent conversation with people. So I know the difference between centralized and decentralized now.
Good. Well, yeah, when I started this group 4 years ago, my goal was to get people to just, at that point, we didn't have as many options. Literally, my goal was to have them set up a Coinbase account, transfer $100 from their bank, buy a couple coins, which back then it was pretty much Ethereum and Bitcoin were, kind of the main one. Coinbase only supported 4 coins at that point, and get them started. So kind of like just what you've done. Because what I felt is that if they would buy a coin or 2, they would then start to follow it. Just like you said, you're obsessed with it, and then they'd kind of naturally learn once they got started. So it sounds like that's happened with you, and that's a good thing. And I'm sure you're going to learn more each week or each month, about the whole crypto space. So that's great.
Thank you.
Let me ask you a few of these other ones. You kind of, answered the first couple. How long are you planning on holding these tokens?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm so new to it, but I want to see where it's going to go. I'm not at that point where I'm starving and I need to sell off because, I need that extra money. It's part of the learning experience for me. So I'm thinking, at least until I get my feet on the ground and figure it all out. So long term, I'm in it for the long haul, whatever that may be. But I'm thinking probably what, a year, 2, 3, 4, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because long term in crypto is a relative term. So I tell people that, because of the 10% tax that there is going in and coming out, we don't want to do it, put money in and then take it out in 2 weeks to make a car payment, that kind of thing. So I kind of tell people, plan on keeping it in there for 6 to 12 months type of thing. And I kind of do that so they think, okay, well, yeah, I could put $50 in, and I don't care about it for for a year or 6 to 12 months, but maybe 500 might be a little too much to think about tying up for that long, that kind of thing. So, okay, good. Any challenges, buying or any of the tokens? I know you said you haven't sold yet. Is there any?
I don't think you have enough time on this Zoom meeting for me to talk about challenges. But
Okay.
so far so good. And I haven't lost anything. You know, I'm absolutely paranoid about hooking up to anything because of all the people that have been scammed. And so far I have not set up my my safe wallet. That's sort of next in the future. But I've found that occasionally I have to just step back away from it for a few days and, you know, get my head screwed on correctly and then go back into it. I would also like at some point to look at the Digibot, but I figure that my old brain is just, you know, can only take so much at this point. But I want to try to keep a balance on it about, you know, getting real pumped and excited and stepping back and being logical, if that makes sense.
No, you're doing great. I applaud
Can
you.
Can I jump in there a second?
Please,
Because
please.
I applaud her as well. It's what you have to do in the crypto space sometimes is just step back, take your time. Most of the time when people get scammed or something happens, it's because they're not paying attention. They're too anxious. They want to jump into it now and get it now. It's better off that you step back a little bit, make sure you got the right wallet addresses, go back and forth between the sites where you fund. Make sure those wallet addresses are done. Do some small investments and learn how to get your money back and forth. Do some small stuff, and then after you do it a few times, you will learn what you need to do. It can be very trying when you first do it, but once you do it a few times, it will get a lot easier once you learn the terminologies and things like that.
Great.
I was pretty shaky when, you know, on all the launches, my finger was real shaky when I went to hit that swap button. You know, I've been in some pretty stressful situations in my life, as I'm sure everybody has, but it was like, I had to laugh at myself afterwards. It's like this, you know, all you're doing is hitting a button. and I was really lucky on the last swap. I hit the button because I hit the button. I'm trying not to do that. And somehow or other, I got in a really good time at the beginning of it. And I did very, very well. And I was shocked. So, but it was that, you know, don't keep hitting the button thing.
All right, good. Yeah, I'm going to try to answer. I see a question here in chat. You know, where do we buy these tokens? Great question, obviously. These are all on the Binance Smart Chain. So they're available on PancakeSwap, and that's pancakeswap.finance. And then also a little easier to buy through PooCoin, which the address there is poocoin.app. And maybe, Aaron, you could add those into the Google Doc.
Yes.
While I'm kind of directing traffic here. I appreciate that. Anybody else want to jump in? Looks like Dale is unmuted. If you want to jump in here, maybe there's. Okay. Anybody else? Let's see.
Brad.
Hey, yeah.
Brad, did you say KuCoin?
No, it's PooCoin.
KuCoin.
POO coin.app. Yeah.
It's in the chat. I just posted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
got it.
People
Thank
enjoy
you.
the name and the logo and stuff there, so you know we can kind of have fun with that.
I've used PancakeSwap and it makes me sweat.
Yeah, the thing that they've it's not always what you need to do there is you need to add the token address for each of the coins,
Right.
tokens on PancakeSwap. So if you've done that before, boom, no problem. Through PooCoin, you don't have to do that. They're already in there. You just have to search for the coin, and then you can do it there. So if that's a hurdle, for some folks, that's a hurdle. They haven't done that before. So PooCoin is easier in that regard, but either one works fine. Whatever works.
Okay. But you can get it off of PancakeSwap.
Absolutely. And yes, and PooCoin actually uses PancakeSwap as their back end. PooCoin is just a little, add some other things to the site, including a lot of charting functions on their homepage, that kind of thing. So, yep, absolutely.
Scott has helped me out a lot on PancakeSwap.
Good.
Yeah.
No, that's and I like using that one because that's the biggest one on the Binance Smart Chain, just like Uniswap is the big one on Ethereum. There's other, DeFi exchanges, but you know, if we don't know much about them, you know, there could easily be a rug pull or that kind of thing. So I always try to use the biggest, most predominant exchange, you know, possible, just, you know, from a safety standpoint, that kind of thing.
Okay. And then just to confirm, it's those three. It's CataBolt, SafuFi, and Insights.
Let me go back to this page. The three that are out right now are these three. So TruBadger is the main one.
TruBadger is the main one. Okay.
Yeah, and it also receives benefits from other tokens. So long term, you probably want to hold more TruBadger than any of the other tokens. And you also, the TruBadger holders also receive not quite airdrops, but something similar to airdrops or free tokens when the new tokens launch. So for example, I was holding however many TruBadger and I ended up getting, I think like 4 million NSI tokens when that launched, that kind of thing. And I should be getting, all of us should be getting a little chunk of SafuFi, or the safest token, because we were holding TruBadger, kind of thing. So in general, long term, you know, you probably want to hold 5 to 6, 8 times as much TruBadger as any one of the other tokens, just because these other fees and things we get flow back into TruBadger from all the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah. Aaron, any comment on that as far as that strategy, as far as how many tokens to hold? You know, again, not financial advice, but
Exactly. Yes, because the TruBadger token is our mother token. You're going, as we go further and introduce more tokens, that number is probably going to go up. Like the first swap was 25. You had to hold $25. This one was $75. So it's probably going to go up, and it may even be they may even change this a little bit as far as maybe the length of time you hold that amount, because we had a very successful launch with SafuFi. However, within 20 hours, people sold right away. And that's what they're trying to eliminate. They want to eliminate people coming in and trying to make 20x their money and pulling it out. They're trying to stop that. They want you really, they want you to hold, because they're introducing all these tokens to a lot of big people. And running the Zoom rooms, I see a lot that goes on. We had a guy, his name is Cedric. I don't know who he is, but he's an influencer. And I have people coming in the Zoom rooms, don't even know why they're coming in to buy. They don't even know what they're there for. So they're looking at, they got a lot of people that are influencers that are going to come in and buy. But at the same time, if that market is, and if you look at all of our tokens, they're all in an uptrend, every one of them. But there's some big drops, and these big drops are because people who are in the space are used to these pump and dumps. You get in the early in the day and you get out at the end of the day. And that's what they're trying to eliminate. And these people who do that, they will be blocking them from the pre-swaps in the future. They're going to slow them down at least. These people are pretty smart and know their ways around things. But yes, as far as investing, I would put a majority in TruBadger, and then the rest is going to depend on you. Are you a trader? You know, if you're a trader, then by all means, I would say NSI. Put some money in NSI and play with the trading bot that they're coming out with. The safe, in my opinion, and this is only my opinion, but because people are getting tired of being scammed in this world, I think the safe is going to reach a lot of a bigger audience than a lot of our tokens. And then we have the newest one coming out, which is the CNP, which is NFT projects. That's for art collectors, you know, whether it be music or art or memes or whatever. It's going to be for collectors. So each one's going to target a different audience. So it's really going to depend on you, what you want to do best. But yes, TruBadger would be the one I focus for long term.
Thank you.
yeah, and just, he mentioned the pre-swap there and the $25 and $75. What they've done is, if you've held, and I just wanted to clarify that you don't have to hold TruBadger to buy Safest or NSI, but they've done these pre-swaps through the CataBolt Swap site. And when I say pre-swap, they basically make them available to current token holders before they go to the public on Pancake Swap. And as token holders, we can register on CataBolt Swap and kind of get in early on some of these launches. And to do that, we have to hold a certain amount of the TruBadger token. They're not, like they're trying to bring people on board that are part of the community and are going to stage part of the community, not pump and dump, jump in and out like Aaron referenced. So everything that they're doing, it's like they're doing it for the right reason. If something goes a little screwy, they try to take care of it. And it's, I mean, this is like unheard of in crypto land. And the other thing, Aaron, we got to mention this is one of the big things for me. And I look at it as kind of the differentiator that I think is going to apply long term. And I look at this, why Apple was so successful in the MP3 player market. And that was because their software to use the MP3 players was superior, way back when. I remember trying to, put songs on some MP3 player, and it was crazy. And I'm a computer nerd kind of thing. I should have been able to figure it out. Then I tried the iTunes with, an iPod. I'm like, holy cow, this is so easy. These guys are going to win in this game because they've made the software easy. Well, I look at TruBadger, and they have these Zoom rooms, they call them, and that's where Aaron volunteers to help people. And it's for absolutely free of charge. You can go into these Zoom rooms and get help setting up your wallet and that kind of thing. And I mean, in the crypto space, there's no telephone support anywhere. I mean, maybe there's like 3 big exchanges that offer telephone support. Everything else is email or chat or that kind of thing. So these guys have gone beyond phone support, but they're offering live support in Zoom rooms where you can actually see that person. So, it's not some scammer, that kind of thing, that will help you set up your wallet. And they'll even answer questions that are not TruBadger related. So I think that's going to be a big differentiator that is going to bring a lot of people in, help them get set up, and and that kind of thing. It's not perfect, for everybody, but it helps a lot of folks get in. I've helped other people one-on-one getting in, setting up the wallets, that kind of thing that needed a little more help than the Zoom rooms provide. But for a lot of folks, they can get set up with the Zoom rooms and are getting on board that way. Okay, so let's get back to our conversation. Just want to kind of clarify that as far as the tokens, which ones are out and that kind of thing. So back to our questions here. Let me see. Let's see. I got Q. I see that you unmuted here.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, welcome. And you got the video going too. Always.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Excellent. Where are you joining us from?
Tampa, Florida.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've got the whole country joining in. So why did you buy the TruBadger tokens?
I'm part of PTR,
Okay.
a private investment group. And then, that's how my journey kind of started on this. It's been interesting. I started out with, no MetaMask, no knowledge of, I had a Coinbase account.
Okay.
And actually, Sharona helped me with transferring my tokens over to into KuCoin, and then into MetaMask, and then buying tokens. So it took me a long time to liquidate all my, I had scattered coins everywhere.
That happens over time. Yeah, we get a little bit here, a little bit there. Okay, good. So,
Yeah, so
there's Zoom rooms that definitely helped you, and
oh yeah,
that's great. Okay, good to hear. And did you which ones did you buy, and why did you choose each one, or have you bought all of them?
I have a little bit of each of them. Mostly, well, I actually ended up buying some more NSI tokens, but I set up, really today, it's Saturday. My whole goal is I set up my SafuFi wallet, but now I just want to try to transfer over my tokens over from my 2 MetaMask accounts. So I'm kind of surfing around to find out exactly how to do that and how to get direction on that.
Yeah, and make sure that you don't pay the 10% tax. You know, it sounds like they've got
Yeah.
that set up to
Yeah,
transfer
let me
without doing that.
address that real quick.
Yeah, please.
What what Safified is, it's kind of like you got a MetaMask wallet or a Trust wallet. That's your bank. That's your crypto bank, just like your regular bank. And then inside your bank, you have a safe deposit box. Well, that's what the Safified is. You know, with your wallet, you can go into the teller and you can say, "Hey, I'd like to withdraw or deposit or do whatever you want to."
Right.
In order to get into that safe, that tellers are going to say, "Hey, you have to. We got to introduce you to the manager here, and he's going to ask you some questions to get you inside that safe." So your tokens are always going to be in the safe. The safe actually inside the safe they have built. They just got it up and running. It's running well. It's an application inside the safe that you can move funds around tax free. So instead of getting that 10% check tax every time you move it, you can do it. You can do it tax free with inside the app of the safe. And they will
Right.
be walking people through that this week. So just join one of those Zoom rooms.
Okay, so that hasn't even started yet.
Well, it has started, but they actually simplified it. It was first going to be like 5 users, 5 different wallet or 5 different wallets with different users. It's now down to 2. They have simplified it. And
well, I've already gotten to that step. I've actually I have the wallet set up already with one on my phone with one browser and then another one on my laptop.
Good.
So now I just want to transfer. I want to not make the mistake of sending them in from MetaMask into Safified. That's where I'm at today.
Go into the Zoom and let them walk you through it a time or two. Do small amounts again. Do small amounts back and forth a little bit, even if you're getting charged a little bit of gas fees. But get yourself familiarized with the system, and it'll become easier when you do larger amounts.
Okay. So just go to Zoom.
Yeah, just go into the Zoom room. There'll be somebody there 10 hours a day. There's somebody there 10 hours a day for you guys. It's amazing.
Okay, cool.
Good. And one last question here, Q. Would you recommend these tokens for beginners or experts? Or any input there?
I mean, I would because of it's a deflationary coin, token. So I mean, you really can't lose over time because it's going to go up if you don't do anything. I mean, it's a no-brainer kind of that it's deflationary. So
yeah, and we're getting the additional tokens and the reflections.
Right.
So yeah.
And if you take a look at today's market on NSI, it jumped in an hour, and it jumped for a reason. And so if you bought like an hour or two ago, you already made some profits because of what took place over the last 2 hours.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I'm taking this whole Saturday to kind of straighten out my wallets and get it going. I mean, I'm ahead of the game, but I just want to, I'm basically doing research today.
Good. And Aaron, remind me before we end, at the end of the meeting, want to show the PooCoin a little bit and the charts, because I know we not a lot of places with the DeFi coins, charting isn't as easy, but we'll show folks how to do that on PooCoin.
Yeah, that'd be great. PooCoin's an awesome site.
Good. Okay. Thanks, Q. And
yes, sir.
Feel free to jump in if anything else comes up here. Anybody else want to share what they've done or answers to these questions? Let's see.
Yeah, Brad, I have a question.
Okay. Yeah, Gabe.
Answer. Yeah, I got into TruBadger because of the low cost, and being as a first-time investor, like everybody else, different people have different appetites when they go ahead and sell. But I noticed one important factor is that when you hold these coins that has 7 zeros in front of it, it's really long-term. That's one. It could take on the average of 5 years before they really materialize or increase in value. And I see that happening like Shiba Inus and so forth. That's something to consider. But I like TruBadger, the ecosystem, for the help that they provide for me and others. Because you have over 11,000 coins and counting. And as you mentioned, there is no help. There's nobody live that you could talk to on a Zoom room. So that's a benefit of the TruBadger system or the ecosystem that they have going.
Right.
So I think it's really going to blossom, and a lot of people will be talking about it down the road, maybe next year, and you're going to start seeing a lot of people flock to TruBadger, NSI, and so forth.
Right. I think they're building it smart. You know, some people have been, they're wanting things to move faster, but I think they're building smart. And so it's going to be much better long-term, for all of us. So excellent. Yeah,
exactly.
Great points. Great points. Okay. And I know, Gabe, you've bought in token, prior to TruBadger, that kind of stuff. Would you recommend, people start with TruBadger, or would you recommend they start with other tokens? Just
No,
for like
I
beginners.
Yeah, for beginners or even big time investors, go with TruBadger, because the ecosystem is going to be there, and you're providing assistance that no other coin has it. Because if you look at it, how many coins are out there? 11,000, but they populate maybe one coin. But the ecosystem here has three coins right now, a fourth one coming out, maybe fifth one next year. I guess Eric can answer that.
Right. And then other tokens coming in from other groups, their tokens as well. So, and it sounded like maybe, one or two new tokens a month once they have these other folks on board, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's going to be.
And they also will be introducing other blockchains such as Solana. I think the next token launch, well, we have CataBolt token coming out, but there's going to be one coming up shortly. I don't know who it is, but it's going to be with another person that is part of the DAO. The DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. And so any token that goes through CataBolt Swap, they're vetted by a vetting team that says that these people are legitimate. And if you're not, you won't be able to launch through our CataBolt system. So they will be doing other chains as well here in the very near future. So it won't only be BNB. It will be possibly the Ethereum network, or the Solana is, I think, is going to be the next one. It would be my prediction. Ethereum is just too expensive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And another good point, besides the Zoom rooms where you're seeing folks when there's questions, there's weekly AMAs and training sessions and that kind of thing. So you're seeing who these people are. You can, research them if you want. They've got their LinkedIn profiles and that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's, I don't know, to me, it just makes it more real when you can see and talk to the people. I got a call yesterday. There was an issue with some API keys on their Digibot, which is kind of a sister thing to the TruBadger. But I got a call because they're like, hey, did you get a chance to take care of this? Do you have any questions? And I'm like, they're calling me. I'm like, this is crazy. So it's outstanding support. So definitely like that. Let's see. Hey, Jody, I see you up there. Would you mind sharing your experience a little bit, or why you started buying, or?
Well, I was brand new to the crypto market, interested always, but afraid because it seemed like gambling and I don't have any money to lose, and I just don't have time to, learn it all. So what I like about this is they, like you guys mentioned, they're helpful. I feel like they're ethical. They, in the future, they're going to be vetting things. So I have minor amounts of TruBadger, Insight, and Safufied, and I've made money on all of them so far. And I just plan to hold them anywhere from, I'll take a look in like 6 months, but plan on longer than that, unless there's an emergency or something,
Sure,
and I need money out. So I just plan to just put a little bit of money in each thing that they vet and each thing that they come out with, whatever I can afford at that time.
Okay. So kind of as new ones come out, you'll jump into those.
Yeah.
And then hold your existing ones.
Yeah.
And
I know nothing. So Larry helped me set some things up. because I'm very afraid of making a mistake. It's, you know, it's not really, it's outside of my wheelhouse, we'll say.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you've learned through that process too. And that's just, I mean, crypto is new to everybody. So it's just part of the process. And I enjoy learning, you know, so that's
Yeah.
fun.
So
fun
far,
so good.
I'm enjoying it and I'm happy with the results and I'm comfortable with this team of people. I listen to some of the AMAs and try to just learn a little bit more every week.
Okay. Would you recommend it for beginners or just experts, or?
This is where I would recommend people start. I've recommended to a couple friends who also are like, have no experience,
Okay.
because otherwise it's just, I don't know. I feel like this is the place where you can actually understand what they're trying to do and see the people and see how hard they work and how much they care about people. And it's been pretty amazing. Like when they did a top off of my insight, they gave me a crazy amount more than I think I deserved. You know, so I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. And that was just kind of, they were trying to make the launch a fair launch of the NSI token. So the way some things went didn't quite go the way they wanted, and they were kind of fixing it or making it up or making it good.
And I know, and I thought it was more than fair, you know,
Yeah.
to be honest. So
Okay. Now it's interesting, your response when I asked you about, you know, would you recommend this for beginners? And my thought process, especially with helping so many people, is been how easy it is to get up and running. You know, Q mentioned Coinbase. A lot of us started there, you know, and that's relatively easy, but doing this DeFi process is very challenging. And I've told people that, you know, people that are doing this for the first time, I really feel for them, because it shouldn't be this hard or challenging, and it doesn't always have to be. But kudos to the people that did this for the first time and got through it and did that. But you're looking at and so that's the way I've been looking at it, is, you know, it's like harder to drive a stick shift than an automatic type of thing. But
yeah,
your responses were more based on the people behind the coin and what they're doing and that kind of thing, as opposed to just the process of setting up your wallet and purchasing and moving tokens around, that kind of thing. So I appreciate that.
That's a little bit painful, but for me, I'm looking at it more long-term and, you know, not jumping in and out. So the pain up front and even a little bit with each one is okay in the long term. And, you know, eventually I would like to, you know, get this digibot, or, you know, my goal is kind of maybe 5, 6 months from now, kind of enter that.
Yeah, do a little more as you learn more. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. Let's see, Lino has a hand up. Go ahead and jump in.
Hey, Brad. Hi, Lino here.
Hey.
So I just jumped on. I'm very new to this TruBadger that you guys are doing. So to buy it, it's PooCoin via MetaMask.
Yeah, it's a decentralized, you know, token and, you know, process.
Yep, and I could use it on. I mean, my MetaMask. I could buy it through that. Correct.
You can, but you have to configure your MetaMask for the Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah, I could do that. That's not a problem. I could change networks.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do that. Go to PooCoin and away you go.
Got it. It was PooCoin, not KuCoin. Correct.
Correct. POO. Yeah. Aaron has it in the chat there.
Oh, okay. I'll look at that chat.
I also updated the Google chat. I also updated the Google Doc.
Okay, good. And let me.
How do I link the Google Doc? How do I get there? Is it on the site?
I'm going to paste it into chat right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think on the chat, if you come in after somebody posts something,
it doesn't pop up. Yes.
You don't see it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't bought any TruBadger yet. I'm going to, but if I'm listening right, the rest of those tokens, when you buy TruBadger, you get part of those other tokens.
When they're launched, they take what they call snapshots.
Okay.
Usually about a month, 6 weeks prior to that launch. And so they take like 4 or 5 snapshots of your account.
That's
and
a lot of
based
work
on,
they're doing there.
Yeah, based on the average of those, then, you know, a couple weeks after the token launches, then they give you so many. So,
Okay.
you know, they don't want, like Aaron said, they don't want you jumping in and out, you know, that kind of thing. So you won't get any of these tokens that already launched because you didn't have TruBadger 6 weeks ago.
But you could buy those still.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay,
just
get
keep
it.
in
Yeah.
mind that with that token tax, that you don't want to buy and sell them. So, you know, buy them for the long term, so you're not paying that 10% or 9% on each transaction.
And that's between, even if you transact between your own wallets. it's still
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So buy them where you want to hold them.
Got it.
Now with the Sassified, there will be a way of doing that through the app, though. You will
Got
be
it.
able to move them tax-free. Got to go through the app and Sassified.
Sastified?
Sassified,
Sorry. Okay.
S-A-F-U-F-I-D-E.
I have to research that. I have no idea what that is. Okay. That's all I had.
Yeah, that's the safest token. That's the symbol, but the name is actually Safufied, which has been the biggest tongue twister. And, you know, just call it maybe Safu or Safu.
Safu, yeah.
It's
exactly.
hilarious.
And the website's not up yet, so it will be in the next week or so. We just launched it last week. It's not quite out there yet.
Brad.
Okay, good. Hey, is that Mark? Hey, Mark.
Yeah, I was trying to find where the hand thing is. I'm so new to this. I couldn't find the hand thing. I wanted to talk for a while, but
Yeah,
I just wanted to give a quick run through how I started with this.
Okay.
My son was really into computers, and about, I suppose 2 years ago now, he was telling me about, oh, you should just, you know, buy the chain link and on and on and on. It's like, yeah, there's no way I can do all that stuff. Well, he convinced us to throw $150 into chain link, and he came over and he set up Coinbase, and I still got all his original things that he wrote down and went through it. I said, how in the world did you ever learn that? There's no way I could have learned that. And lo and behold, in about a year and a half, it went from 66 cents to, I think it was peak was at $54. And I sold some at, you know, high 40s. And then I went back down and it's currently in the 20s. And I kind of, you know, I had to feel a sense of all this, what was happening. And of course, I've been a PTR member for 11 years. And I trust Dan and Gary, and they did, you know, investigated Peter, and I trust them both. We couldn't be more pleased to be a part of the TruBadger team. And I'll tell you, you know, the help we're getting from our friend Brad here, I've really got up to speed quite a bit, and I've been a long time researcher, so I can really reach around and dig, and I found one token that I was having a hard time getting rid of, and with Brad giving me the ammunition, I guess, in that knowledge, I was able to sell it. So I was quite thrilled with that, and I can kind of jump around and do things, and you know, that I don't think that I could have ever done before without Brad's help. So we couldn't be more pleased with where all this is going. TruBadger, and I've been taking tons and tons of notes here, and I continue to you know, move forward. But my strategy is just to be conservative. I might have to take a little bit of money out because, yeah, I've been a poor saver in my life. So I'm trying to kind of take it easy, but we are going to continue moving forward with TruBadger. Love it, terrific. It's like a true family, and you know, I like to think of myself as a long-term BS. I can sniff BS out quite well. I don't make a lot of sudden moves, and generally, if I think it is, it generally is. So I'm very cautious, and this is one of those things that you can't make a whole lot of sudden moves, or you could lose everything you got. You have to be very careful, very calm, and you know, for me, and everything is moving along smoothly. I'm good.
Good. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, and pleasure to help you get over some of those hurdles with it. You know, like you're a good example of a lot of folks that I help where they researched and they did everything, but there's just like one little hurdle or roadblock in their way that I could help them get over, and then you're off and running kind of thing. So that's always, I like to see that success. So and then when you come back, there's another question about something different, was like, okay, good, we can get over a different roadblock and we're not hitting the same one each time. So that was cool. So good to see you progressing. Let me just kind of read off some of the answers. Somebody had sent me an email with their responses because they couldn't join us this morning, but just in case you haven't been able to get into the Google Doc to see those, let me just go through those real quick. So why did you buy the TruBadger token? She says, I invested in them because I trusted Dan and could see the vision of Peter and Corey was plausible. I don't have a lot of money and I want to change that. So I like that attitude for sure. Why did you buy the tokens and why did you choose each one? I purchased TruBadger because that was available and I hoped it would be beneficial, and because I had to have it to get the insight. I purchased the insight to invest long-term. To me, this is something to hold for my grandkids' future. I tried to purchase this on the last coin. However, I made a mistake and have not found it if I can get them back. That was a small amount, but it was all that I could invest. So it sounds like she had a little problem on the coins. And it's interesting on the Binance network, the way it's set up, you can actually get some of the coins back when you send them to the wrong. If you send your Bitcoin or Ethereum to the wrong address, you can actually get them back. And that's been kind of fun to help people with that, because that was something I hadn't done before, but it was yeah, we were able to do it. So that was cool. How long are you planning to hold the TruBadger tokens? She says 5 to 10 years. I will transfer my wallets to the care of my kids via a will or legally, so my grandchildren can benefit from that. I have to invest more to make it worth saving though. So that's an interesting idea. And I've heard other people do that where they'll, they have their wallets set up, but they set up, one for their brother or sister or son or daughter, and then they'll put, $50 in that and let that start growing. So that's another option we can do too, and set those wallets up separately so you're not commingling or, worrying about, wait, that was her funds or his funds or that kind of thing. Let's see, have you had any challenges buying or selling any of the TruBadger tokens? Yes, I have had issues that the Zoom room helpers have helped me with, and one that I have not got fixed yet that I personally did wrong. So yeah, we're all learning in this process, and don't transfer Bitcoin to a BNB address, that kind of thing. But she's definitely learning. Would you recommend the TruBadger tokens for beginners or experts? I have recommended it to several people, and I think some invested. So that's good to hear. Okay, yeah. Anybody else want to share their experiences, even if it was bad? This is real life. We're not here, pumping some promotional video, that kind of thing. I didn't want this to be, a company presentation. Aaron has the Nexus background and all that because he's gotten involved, but well after I asked him to join us, and I'm glad that he has, because he's learned a lot more and has been able to share with me and others in our in the Telegram group. And if oh yeah, well, let me just mention one thing. I do have this Telegram group. We're trying to keep it small. It's basically private. If you'd like to join it, shoot me an email and I'll send you an invite link. But we're trying to keep it not public, just to keep out the riffraff or that kind of thing. But everybody's welcome as long as it's like a friend of a friend. So I know Aaron joined because of a mutual friend had joined, and it's kind of, other people have joined that way. So you're all welcome to join. Just shoot me an email or something here in the chat, and I'll send you a link to that, here after the meeting. Yeah, so whoever jumped in there, jump back in.
Hey, Brad, it's Susan.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks. So I got started with, well, I'll back up a little bit. I bought a little bit of other coins through a centralized exchange earlier this year, just a tiny bit, just getting my feet wet. And then I got involved in that Tron case program. And one reason why I did that was because it supposedly had an ecosystem, and I really like that idea. I like the idea of coins supporting each other and, having more stability than just one coin. Unfortunately, that program wasn't very good. so, you know, I moved on from that. And after that, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then this opportunity came up through the PTR group. And I thought, wow, here's another, you know, ecosystem, but it's really an ecosystem and it's been, you know, vetted and these people are real and they're showing their face and all of that kind of stuff. So I thought, well, I'll take a chance on this because it definitely sounds like what I was looking for originally, but didn't find originally. So I went ahead and got some TruBadger tokens, and then I've bought a little bit of each of the other tokens as they've come out. So I've enjoyed receiving the reflections on my TruBadger and my NSI tokens, as well as you mentioned, the free or airdrop tokens from being a TruBadger holder. I've received some NSI tokens because of that. And I also will be receiving the Safufied and the other ones as they come out. So that's kind of cool. So I've really enjoyed that. But yeah, it was definitely a learning curve, a very big learning curve, because this is decentralized and I had no idea how to do it. And like you said, it's not easy at first, but the people in the Zoom rooms are very helpful. At the time when I got in, there wasn't as much staffing in the Zoom room, so it was more challenging, you know, getting in and meeting up with somebody. But now, you know, they're there consistently all day, and I'm sure it's a little easier to get in and get the help. But you know, when you do, they are super helpful. So I highly recommend that if anybody needs help in doing this. So I am planning to get the other tokens as they come out, at least a little bit of each one, just to see what it, you know, how it does. And I'm planning to hold them for quite a while. I'm not sure how long, but I would say at least 6 months to a year. May sell a little bit here and there if I need them, but overall, I'm just planning to hold them for a while. And I would recommend if somebody had $50 and only $50 that they buy TruBadger, since that is the parent token, and you would get the benefit of getting some of the other tokens as they launch as a TruBadger member. Plus, you're getting the reflections anytime someone buys or sells. And I think too, you know, we'll know more as these tokens get going and all. But I think some or maybe all of them will have some kind of a profit that may end up going, a little bit of that going back to TruBadger holders too. So again, if it was just $50, I'd go TruBadger. But if you had more, I would get some of each of them.
Okay, good. Yeah, to diversify a little bit. So yeah,
Right.
for sure. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, and you mentioned the Tron case, and that was a completely different system or process, because that was just a smart contract as opposed to a token in itself. I know a lot of times we thought of it the same or something like that, but yeah, no, yeah, good to bring that up and kind of just to contrast the difference. And for sure, the visibility and transparency, you know, is completely different. They were supposedly starting their ecosystem with the other DeFi exchange, and who knows how that worked, but it's nowhere near what these guys are doing for sure. So good. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Anybody else want to bring up their experience, or if you guys start to have questions? I know, you know, fortunately, a lot of us have had the same experience. If there's any, you know, bad things or negative things, definitely bring those up to share, especially if you figured out a way to get around them or fix them or that kind of thing, so we can all benefit there. But yeah.
Brad, to swap them, we use BNB, USDT. What do you use to swap them?
Yeah, so these are on the Binance Smart Chain. So you're going to use the BEP20 version of the BNB coin. And that's gotten confusing sometimes because there's, you know, two versions. There's the BEP2 and then the BEP20 version of the BNB coin. So these are the BEP20, which the addresses all start with 0x, and they do not use the memo. If you see something, you know, referencing a memo address on the BNB, that's the wrong
Got
chain.
It. Okay, I'm actually doing it right now. My first purchase as we're on Zoom, because I
Okay.
don't have any TruBadger yet, but I'm about to.
But yeah, so you all, and that was one thing that was a common confusion where they thought, okay, we bought TruBadger, now we're going to use TruBadger to buy the other ones. And that wasn't the case, because first, we're going to get hit with the 10% tax, and then B, we weren't going to, hold as much. So you can obviously sell your TruBadger back to BNB and then buy the other tokens with that. But for the most part, we're always going to come into the game or the ecosystem with the BNB, the smart chain version of BNB, and buy the tokens from there. Yeah, good question. Okay, anybody else?
Quick follow-up, Brad?
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
I just dawned on me. I've been having a really tough time, excuse me, getting rid of this tether. That the debacle I had, what it is, Brad,
Right,
trying to buy that. And shoot, they want $50 to trade tether back. And it's just, how can that be? Does anybody know how in the heck I can trade it back for a lot less money?
Yeah, just like Aaron brought up, the fees on the Ethereum. So you have the Ethereum version of USDT as opposed to the Tron, the Tron smart chain or anything like that. Yeah, Aaron, heard any great ideas on getting rid of Ethereum tokens?
No,
No,
it's on the ERC20 token, and it's a costly fee. I don't know any way around getting that out now because again, it's Ethereum. It's, in fact, the term gas fee came from Ethereum.
Oh.
That's it's just expensive. A friend of mine though, Frank on the Zoom room, he had that issue and he did share something about getting that done. I just don't remember how it was. So you might want to get.
I'm a little disappointed. I mean, coming into this, I haven't learned very much, but I very much wanted to get by the Zoom for the Vegas meet. And the three options, I didn't look at all the different pay things. The first option to pay was Bitcoin. The second was Tether USD. And the third one, which I didn't go down to see, was BNB. And I bought the Tether and I based any of that. I figured these guys wouldn't have something on their site to pay with if they didn't know what was going on. And I bought that. And then every time I tried to pay for the Zoom, they wanted $15. Then when I tried to do it again, it kept going up and up. And I thought, good grief. And I just went, forget that. And I went and got the BNB, and something must have happened with my computer. I never got to paid for the Zoom. I never got the Zoom, and all I wound up was with a stupid Tether. So it's a little disappointing, sucks.
I think that went through a third party though, as far as the payment is a third. I don't remember how it was, but that's a third party payment options.
Well, I'm learning to I'm going to just kind of hang with BNB, until further notice. So that's good.
Yeah. Get on the Zoom and Frank had that issue, and
okay.
If I don't know if Larry has your information, I can get your information. I might be able to relay that back because he had the same similar issue. And he at first it was going to cost him like $70-some, but he come back and told me there was a way to do it. That cost him a lot less.
It's just the point of it. I mean, I understand people got to make money, but I mean, these guys are pirates.
Oh, they are.
Well, but it's also the chain. It's not like there's the CEO like Jamie Dimon saying, "Hey, raise the fees." It's part of the the Ethereum ecosystem, and that's the big problem they're trying to fix right now. Because I mean, I've talked to a handful of people like, "I'm not doing anything with Ethereum because the fees." Well, multiply that time millions, and that's why BNB, the Binance chain, is doing so well, kind of thing. And Mark, if you want to you can send a private message in the chat to Aaron.
Okay.
Contact info if you'd like. Totally up to you. You can do that, right here, right now.
Yeah, I'll talk to Frank.
Okay. Now, you want me to do it? Send a private a message in the chat? Or just what should I put in there?
Your email address or something. Just give me your email address.
I'll do that. I'll do that right now. Thank you.
Good. All right. Any other questions? I think I'm caught up on chat. Anybody else? Comments, questions? Or if you guys have had other experiences with other coins or things that look like this that, you know, went well or didn't go so well in the past, or, you know, anything similar, things we should watch out for. You know, if you've had any bad experiences, definitely share those with us. We can learn. Hey, Scott, I saw you unmuted.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that Ethereum fees for gas go up and down based on the transaction pool. The mempool is the backlog of transactions that occur. And in order to stay ahead of the mempool, people increase the gas fee in order to get their transactions to front run. And so if you pay attention and watch gas fees, then you can find a time to trade your Tether or your other Ethereum asset at a lower cost. The best way to do that is to go to something like Gas Tracker and follow the gas fees and watch them go up and down, and you can see when it happens and then make your trade to save the money.
Okay, good. Thanks, Scott. Hey, I think Susan, I think you jumped in there and when I talked to.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I just wanted to mention that, especially, I mean, you should be careful anyway. The decentralized space, you know, like you've said, is like the wild, wild west. There's a lot of scams out there. And with TruBadger, they've had such success that there are a lot of people trying to scam new people trying to get in. So you have to be very careful. They do it on the Telegram chats, on, you know, TruBadger has a number of Telegram channels, and people try to contact them and say they're admins and all kinds of stuff. So you really have to be careful who you are talking to and who you trust. In the Google Doc, all of the token addresses and the websites for the official TruBadger tokens and the ecosystem are on there. So I would go there and do things or confirm the address with that or on their actual sites. Just be careful, that's all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ideally, we always get the token addresses from the official website. I know I've helped some people that were trying to get those, you know, in a session, and I would text it to them, which isn't the best. I mean, hopefully they trusted me on that, but you know, for us to go back and get it from the official website is always the best way. I hope that launches on Safufied, Aaron, so we see that, you know, quickly as possible. And then great point on the Telegram channels, and that's one reason why we're trying to keep ours, you know, just friends of friends, that kind of thing, because anybody can launch a Telegram channel or a group and then have a username that looks like somebody else's name, and you think that they're that person or an admin from that other official site. So just be super, super careful, really anywhere online. I mean, same thing has been happening on Facebook, where people are, you know, coming up with false Facebook profiles and reaching out to, you know, the friends of that person that they're intimidating or cloning, you know, kind of thing. So just, yeah, super cautious online. Okay. Yeah, anything else there? If not, we'll jump over to PooCoin and show how that works. Aaron, if you want to share your screen, or I've got mine I can
Sure.
share.
I can share quick.
Yeah, if you want to, let me stop that sharing and go ahead. Let's see. Oh, I think we're sharing Mark's screen. Okay. Let me kick Mark out just so we can get over to Aaron. You should be able to share, Aaron. All right, good to see so many people. We got a, hey, okay, there we go. Don't share me so big, that was scary.
That's all right. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. A couple things with PooCoin. Do we want to share the charts, or you want to share the trading platform?
Just the charts on PooCoin, because that's something that probably a lot of people aren't familiar with. The trading is fairly straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this here is actually our newest chart right here, Safufied. It looks pretty good. A couple of things I want to point out over here is on the left, you can see your transactions. So you can actually click on that transactions, and it'll, if it's going to work for me, and it will show all the transactions every second. It shows everything that's going on, so you can monitor that. you can go to the next one down, or third one down where it says holders. You can see the top 1,000 holders. We take a look at that. It tells you all the holders. The top one is actually going to be our burn address. I'm not certain how the burn's going to go, but that's going to be the actual burn address. Main account. It's going to be a dead account, so it holds over 51% already. But this will show you all your holders and how much they own. If you need to go into the contract, you can go into the contract and you can read everything about the contract, which is kind of, most people are not going to understand any of this. There's not really. Is there anything you want to add as far as what to look for, as far as if they're betting a token, or that's not really what we're
No,
into?
we're not going to get too far. More just the chart. And on that page, scroll down a little bit just so we can see the dates on there.
The dates on which page?
Just on the bottom of the chart.
Oh, this one here? Okay.
Yeah, because I don't see, there we go. So we can see this was, yeah, basically on this, it launched on the 30th is where it started there.
Yeah.
And then the 2, 3, and 4 are the days, December. But this went public basically on the 1st, right? Yeah, the 1st. So that first, they're right at the 1300. That's when it first hit Pancake Swap, and the price shot up and made a lot of us very happy.
Exactly. And if you scroll down a little further, and it's actually not going to come up now on this chart for some reason. Let me go to let's go to the TruBadger chart real quick. Notice today what happened to TruBadger. See how it had dropped? And this morning, as I was telling some of you, that was if you bought like 2 hours ago, you would have bought in at a very good point, because there we went up 2 million in probably an hour and a half time in our market cap.
Yeah, it looks like the whole crypto market has started turning around. I mean, it just dumped yesterday.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, by the time we reached our market right here, we were well above what the BNB market was at that time. So when BNB starts going back up, which I think it already did, anyone who invested, like I said, 2 hours ago, there's a substantial amount of money to be made there. But if you look at the charts overall, I don't know if I can get it narrowed down enough. See if I'm on a laptop instead of my computer. It's not.
Yeah.
easy to
Oh,
do.
over in if you maybe change that instead of the 1 hour chart, if you change that to like a 1 day or even 12 hours, it'll probably give us a better picture than trying to squeeze that.
Yeah.
I didn't know how far back you were looking to go.
Well, I was actually wanting to look at it over 1 day is what I want to do. Actually, give you an overall picture. Let me give you an overall picture, because I want to show you each of our charts what they're doing. And so you take a look at that. We're in an uphill trend all the way. So there's day 1 back in October 4th. That was day 1. We went up, we went down, we leveled out, actually went up a little, went down again. We're just in a stair step. If you see what's taking place, we're just in a stair step going up and down. But it's always, we're in an uptrend. And so as long as we're in an uptrend, there's no fear of holding at all. You're gonna if you come in on that first day, you're every time it goes up and does a jump like that, you're just making money.
Yeah, well, I think the big part is there's so few people holding it. I mean, because we're talking, like, you're looking at TruBadger now. What is there, like 13 or 14,000?
Well, let's see how many holders we have. This is TruBadger right now, has 8,892 holders.
Even less. Okay. I mean, so, this is worldwide. So, this is barely getting out there. That's why I say, $50 in it, don't look at it for a year or two, because by the time 50,000 people, have it, where's the price going to be, kind of thing. So we're so early in this whole process. Yeah, so maybe look at the NSI and the SAFU-FI just to see how many token holders there are on those for comparison. Because TruBadger is the old one, like you said, is the kind of the mother coin or the father coin.
SAFU-FI has 2,686 holders in less than a week.
Yeah, yeah, since Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just getting started. Yeah.
Insights has 9,450 holders.
Yeah, and I
It's
think
got
there's
more than TruBadger.
yeah, and I think that happened because there was more, not press, but talk and discussion of that coin. So people that hadn't gotten anything probably jumped in with the NSI because it was a newer one back at the beginning of October. So they should go back and buy some TruBadger for sure, but they'll learn.
They will. They will. When they see people right now, again, they still have the mentality of this is a pump and dump. With the
Right.
smart contracts, that's what happened. It was put your money in and take it out. Most of those contracts don't last more than a week. Some of them only a day. Tron case did last 7 months, but you see what happened with Tron case. You woke up one morning and all your tokens were gone. So
yeah, well, and again, that's different because that was just a smart contract as opposed to a
exactly.
token.
Well,
But I've seen
but that's what
tokens do the same thing like you're talking about. Yeah.
right. But that's what the mentality is that's the way the space has been going. This is what they're addressing. We're going to stop that. We're not going to stop it because we can't stop other tokens and what they do. But here in this space and TruBadger community, they're going to stop it. They're going to at least slow it down tremendously, which they already have. I mean, they've proven themselves more than 3 times now.
Right. Well, and that's why they've gotten such positive response from other people that know crypto and that see the launches go shooting straight up because the bots take them up and then the bots crash them down. And that's why they look at these charts and go, oh, you guys had a successful launch. Congratulations. Oh, and then you did it again, kind of thing.
Exactly.
So
and
awesome.
that's the thing about it. This Satu fight come out, and those people that sold like 20 hours after they did that, they don't realize they're really hurting our vision, because when they go out and present to these large communities like PTR and all these other people that they're presenting it to, it's going to look a whole lot better if you're just staying in the green and you're steadily rising than these big falls. Like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, but they have the different mentality. So, 100% of the people aren't going to understand that or act that way right now. In 6
Right.
months, when they've done this with 20 coins or tokens, and they say, oh, okay, yeah, and then 6 months later, it's still higher. A month later, it's still higher. But they're still thinking in that old mentality. So it'll take a while, but they'll get there.
Right.
We know where it's going. So good. Okay. Let's see. Any other? Yeah, anything else in there you wanted to share? Any numbers that maybe we haven't looked at too much?
No, I think we looked at all of them. I mean, I didn't look. I always compare it to the BNB. I always keep these 4 charts up. They're up all the time, so I can see what the market's going. See, 2 hours ago, we actually were higher than what the BNB market was. Now it's going back up again. We're driven by the finance smart chain, but we can also drive it to some degree.
I don't know about that. We're a little too small to drive it, but
right. It definitely drives us though. If it drops, then we can. It definitely drives us.
Because we're looking at that chart in terms of the BNB. Yeah. That's what makes it challenging is looking at the charts not in terms of the dollars, but in terms of the other token. So that's
right.
Fascinating. Okay, good. Let me see. I see a few folks here. Let's see. I'm gonna jump back. Okay, yeah, let me go back and share here. Back to.
So part of the reason that we have valuation that goes up and down based on the PNB is because your liquidity pool is tied to it. So your relative balance is tied to the value of the coin that composes the other half of your liquidity pool. So if you see a 20% drop in BNB, you can expect to see that kind of a drop in the token that's tied to the same pool.
That makes sense.
Right. And just in case you get, thank you, Scott, for differentiating between the coins and the tokens. That coins have their own blockchain and tokens run on another crypto's blockchain. That a lot of beginners don't understand that part. So I tell them, just don't worry about the differences, but it's nice to understand that, especially in this discussion, that the price is kind of driven by the other token or the actual coin. So thank you for that.
Yeah, until you have multiple smart contracts on multiple L1 chains, you don't have immunity from the drop or resistance to the drop in value from an individual coin that you're running against it in a contract in a pool. So if once this coin is on ETH and Binance, then you're starting to spread the value loss from an individual currency falling that's in your pool. So
Right. And they were looking at doing that, Aaron. I thought they were looking at doing that with Safufied on another chain. I never heard which one, but that kind of concerned me because I'm like, oh, that's a whole nother set of programming issues and that kind of thing. So I'm glad they didn't, from what I understand.
Yeah, they didn't launch it that way, but it's coming.
Okay, which is fine. And I almost hope they do that way in the future, just to simplify it, type of thing. I mean,
Well, I think they really got to kind of master it with one blockchain at one time. So
exactly.
it'd be the smart thing to do anyhow.
100% agree. 100% agree. Okay. Anybody else want to jump in with any other comments about their experience? I know we got, I think James, you jumped in here. Anything you want to share? Yeah, just unmute and jump in if you wanted to share. Or Dina, I know you've done some other coins as well. Anything else you wanted to add? Experience with these guys or compared to other coins that you've done?
Hey, Brad, I'll jump in real quick. I just bought my first group of TruBadger just right now.
Okay,
which is
great.
Cool. So now I'm into family.
All right, well, welcome.
Welcome.
And look, he even did it without the Zoom room. So something's going good, Aaron. That people, because that's my concern is as this thing takes off, you Zoomers are going to get hammered with people.
We had 900 people in the day of the launch went through Zoom Room.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's now that Zoom Rooms from TruBadger, do people volunteer to do that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're vetted and everything, but yeah, we have some that are paid, but a lot of us are just volunteers.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So that really tells you about the community as well, if they're volunteering. So that's cool. Okay. So back to.
So one more thing I didn't mention.
Yeah.
About liquidity pools is that the amount in the pool is relative to the ability to change the price of the coin, and it's also relative to the stability of the coin. Because if you look at something like Shiba Inu, where they talk about it being worth billions of dollars, but there's only $220 million in all the liquidity pools for it. What that means is that a large holder, when the value is high, could cash in enough to take the liquidity out of the pool. If they do that, then they crash the price. So, and when you're looking at a coin and you're trying to figure out if it's good to invest in, it's important to understand how much liquidity is available for you to get in and out, and how that relates to the total market cap of the investment. So when you're looking at them, you can see that they have $50 million market cap, but they only have $500,000 worth of liquidity pool. Then really a relatively minor amount can dramatically change the price of that market cap and the token value. So it's something to be aware of when you're getting into the smaller coins, is how much is locked up in the contracts and liquidity pools, and how much of that is guaranteed to stick around.
Right. Yeah. Excellent point. It's kind of similar to when Tesla goes crazy, their stock shoots up 50-fold or something, but they're still not making any more cars to generate any more revenue to bring into the company, type of thing. So
right, they're not changing the real underlying asset value, they're just changing the peg for it, basically.
Yeah, good point.
So you want to really watch that if you're going to go after small coins, and these guys are small coins, right? It's TruBadger and Insights, and these are very, very small tokens at this moment. Now they have the potential to grow, but you always want to, when you're looking at these small coins, you want to look at that liquidity pool. And you want to find out, you know, is their smart contract audited? Is it verified that if there's no rug pull code in there? Things like that are important when you're investing.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, we've seen some exchanges, yeah, do that. And that's why we stick with the big ones, the pancake swaps and the unit swaps. Good point. Okay.
But see, even in pancake swap or something like that, what your pancake swap is huge, but it's a conglomeration of liquidity pools. So it's not all one thing. When you go, let's say you go to a pair, and that pair is, well, let's say, I don't know, BNB and TruBadger. Well, that pair is in a pool in a contract inside Pancake Swap, and Pancake Swap interacts with that pool to trade one for the other. But when it does that, it depends on the way that the pool is programmed. If it's an automatic market maker, then as the pool gets out of balance, the pool sells some of the other asset in order to rebalance the pool. And so that's how the pool ends up getting drained. So those are things to be very aware of when you're looking at buying something. Yeah, I'm on Pancake Swap, and Pancake Swap's big, and I'm not worried about them having bad code. But how big is the pool that I'm interacting with is also a concern. And it's more of a concern really than the Pancake Swap, because if you get something like an atomic swap, that would be a direct without a pool, and there aren't too many of those around, because those are cross-chain swaps. So when you're inside the same chain and you're trading a token for another token, you typically use the main blockchain that you're working on, the coin, like BNB, as the peg for all of the contract tokens that are tied to it. And Pancake Swap only works with BNB coins. So it's a BSC token ecosystem. But each one of those is an individual, not part of a bigger team. And that's worth recognizing when you're getting in and out.
Right. I was looking at more from the standpoint of participating in, one of those pools or farms on Pancake Swap versus some other little one that you didn't know about. But yeah, no, that's a good perspective
to watch out for when you get into those, because you can run into things like impermanent loss.
Yeah.
So you want to really understand what it is that you're risking when you're doing a yield farm or a liquidity pool, liquidity mining, something like that. You need to understand that if one of the two tokens in the pool need to move generally in the same direction. So you need to be looking for correlation between the two in the market. And that's how you prevent yourself from getting too much impermanent loss. So what happens there is they keep selling the good asset to buy the bad asset when they're moving in different directions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those are. Yeah, and I think that can be.
That's a computer code, right?
Right.
The person sitting there making the trade. That's a smart contract trying to balance the pool so that it's able to continue to operate.
Right. Yeah, because if it can't, then it runs out and it can't do any swaps, which
not enough liquidity to produce the trade.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, maybe next year we'll have to get into some real specifics on that to watch out for, because you're right. Most of us go in just like, hey, we can make 0.5% a day or something in this yield farm and run with it and don't really see it long term. Kind of thing, and again, long-term perspective, is that a month or am I in this, for a week, that kind of thing. So,
well, you look at some of them that are unsustainable, but they're still making a lot of money. Look at Time Wonderland, and the yield is, I think it's 8,000 APY. So it's yielding something like 7% a day.
Yeah.
You could be in that for a few days.
Right, but you better get out while you can get out. Yeah.
You have to understand them, and that's one of the things about all of these pools is they peak and then they trail off, and it's all about the performance of the token. If the token continues to grow, then there'll be more of an ecosystem. But when it stalls, then the ability for other people to quickly cash out is right there. You have to have your eye on that, because the amount of liquidity in the pool is all that can be pulled out, period. It's
right.
For worth. And so
Right.
when the liquidity pool doesn't represent a significant fraction of the total value, then that means the value is all air. It's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah, well, I think these guys are building slowly, so hopefully that won't be an issue. But we got to watch out for some sudden run-ups or that kind of thing. So good. Okay, well, next month we're gonna kind of do a New Year's resolution type of thing and just kind of talk about generally, what we should look for in the coming year and some successes we've had or not had in the past, and kind of share those with each other. Here's my contact info, a little bit about what I'm doing. If you guys want to hit me up with an email or text or something, feel free to do that. But the next meeting is going to be not that first weekend, because that's like New Year's weekend and all that good stuff. So it'll be the next meeting. It's up on the MeetUp already. And so feel free to RSVP for that. You'll get a reminder and that kind of good stuff. I'll have the recording up of this meeting if you want to share with anybody later this evening. It takes a while for the computer to code, recode, encode, or whatever it does before I can upload it. So with that, thank you for joining. Thank you, Aaron, for co-hosting with me. Appreciate it and all your input. We will see you next time, and shoot me an email if I didn't get a chance. I've got a couple emails to send as far as the Telegram link invite, but shoot me an email if you'd like to get that, and I will send that over and hope to see you on Telegram. Till next month, take care.
All right, see you all.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.